Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
ISKCON founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajakacharya Ashtottara Shata Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind ki jai.
Jai.
Ramacharya Srila Haridas Thakur की जय.
Jai.
कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
Jai.
श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय.
Jai.
ब्रज भूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय.
Jai.
द्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय.
Jai.
पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय.
Jai.
जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुभद्रा महारानी की जय.
Jai.
अलका माई की जय. यमुना माई की जय.
Jai.
महारानी की जय.
जय.
देवी की जय.
जय.
एकादशी तिथि की जय.
जय.
नरहरिदास सरकार ठाकुर की जय.
जय.
ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय.
जय.
नामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय.
जय.
जय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल.
बोल.
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा.
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा.
All glories to assembled devotees.
हरे कृष्णा.
All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण प्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशकारिणे. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय.
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. नष्टप्रायेष्वभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवत्युत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 14, The Disappearance of Lord Krishna, Text 11 and 12. Text 11. Urvakshi bahavo mahyam spurantyanga punah punah vepatushchapi hridaye आराद्दास्यन्ति विप्रियम्. Urvakshi bahavo mahyam स्फुरन्त्यङ्गा पुनः पुनः वेपथुश्चापि हृदये आराद्दास्यन्ति विप्रियम्. उर्वक्षि बाहवो मह्यं स्फुरन्त्यङ्गा पुनः पुनः वेपथुश्चापि हृदये आराद्दास्यन्ति विप्रियम्. Please chant.
Urvaakshi bahomayam spurantyaga puna puna vipataschapi vidaye aradashanti vipriyam.
पूर्वक्षि बाहवो माह्यं स्फुरन्ति अंगपुनः पुनः वेपतुश्चापि हृदये आरादास्यन्ति विप्रयम्. हरे कृष्ण.
हरे कृष्ण. ऊर्ध्वक्षि बाहवो मह्यं स्फुरन्त्यङ्ग पुनः पुनः वेपथुश्चापि हृदये आरादास्यन्ति विप्रियम्. हरे कृष्ण.
पूर्वाक्षि बहवो मह्यं स्फुरन्ति अंग पुनः पुनः
वेपतुश्चापि
हृदये आरादास्यन्ति विप्रियम्.
We'll do word-to-word translation. Uru, thighs. Akshi, eyes. Bahavaha, the arms. Mahyam, in mind. Spuranti, quivering. Anga, left side of the body. Punaha punaha, again and again. Vepathu, palpitations. Cha, also. Api, certainly. Hridaye, in the heart. Arat, due to fear. Dasyanti, indicating. Vipriyam, undesirables. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Translation. The left side of my body, my thighs, arms, and eyes are all quivering again and again. I am having heart palpitations due to fear. All this indicates undesirable happenings. Purport. Material existence is full of undesirables. Things we do not want are forced upon us by some superior energy, and we do not see that these undesirables are under the grip of the three modes of material nature. When a man's left eye, arm, and thigh all quiver constantly, one must know that something is going to happen which is undesirable. These undesirables are compared to fire in a forest. No one goes into the forest to set fires, but fires automatically take place in the forest, creating inconceivable calamities for the living beings of the forest. Such a fire cannot be extinguished by any human efforts. The fire can be extinguished only by the mercy of the Lord, who sends clouds to pour water on the forest. Similarly, undesirable happenings in life cannot be checked by any number of plans. Such miseries can be removed only by the mercy of the Lord, who sends his bona fide representatives to enlighten human beings and thus save them from all calamities. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanditamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Oh yes, 12 also. Shivaishodhyantam adityam abhirautyanalanana mam anga sarameyoyam abhirebhatyabhiruvat. Translation. Just see, O Bhima, how the she-jackal cries at the rising sun and vomits fire, and how the dog barks at me fearlessly. these are some bad omens indicating something undesirable in the near future. Hare Krishna, all the devotees, thank you for coming this morning. Today is Ekadasi. Today is also the disappearance day of Srila Narahari Sarkar Thakur. So first we will discuss for some time this shloka, these two shlokas of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then we will also hear a little bit about Narahari Sarkar Thakur. So Yudhishthir Maharaj is seeing all these omens in the past few verses we have read, and he seeing these omens, he's guessing that the only reason could be the disappearance of Krishna, as it was predicted by Narad Muni. Now Yudhishthir Maharaj is expressing his thoughts, his anxiety to his brother Bhimsen. So what is Yudhishthir Maharaj saying to Bhimsen? That first of all, I sent Arjun to Dwaraka to meet his friends and to find out from the Supreme Lord what are his next plans. But it has been 7 months, Arjun has not yet returned. I don't know what's going on there. Is it that Lord Krishna is going to quit this world, right? Quit his earthly pastimes, as it was indicated by Narad Muni? Has that time already arrived? Whatever we are having now, whatever opulence, whatever position that we are enjoying, it is only because of the mercy of Krishna. It's only because of his causeless mercy. And now, Bhimsen, look at all these omens. Yesterday's verse was, just see, oh man with a tiger's strength, how many miseries due to celestial influences, earthly reactions, and bodily pains, all very dangerous in themselves, are foreboding danger in the near future by deluding our intelligence. Right? So, all these omens, they are foreboding, they are telling us about the danger that's imminent, that's going to come soon. And today's verse, the left side of my body, my eyes, my thighs, my arm, left side, they are constantly quivering. I'm experiencing heart palpitations due to fear. All this is certainly indicating that some undesirable thing is going to happen. So, these indications, these are, and the next verse, if we see, text 12 says that, just see, O Bhima, how the she-jackal cries at the rising sun and vomits fire, how the dog barks at me fearlessly. So these symptoms, these omens, Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that when you experience these, you must know that something is going to happen which is undesirable. It is not just a superstition, like, modern people would say that these are all superstitions. No, they are not superstitions. They are not superstitions. For men, if it is happening on the left side, then that means something bad is going to happen. And the opposite, if the right side is quivering, that means something auspicious is going to happen. Something good is going to happen. And for the women, it's the opposite. When their left side is quivering, that means something good is going to happen for women. When the right side is quivering, that means something bad is going to happen. So this is a science of studying the states of the body. By studying the state of the body, you can actually understand what is going to happen in the future, or you can understand why certain things are happening in the present by studying your body, the state of your body. So as we are so-called advancing in our science and technology, we leave behind these symptoms, this science which is given to us by Shastra. But actually, this science is more accurate than the technology. For example, this I just heard in a lecture by His Grace Harivilas Prabhu, that seismologists, right, the science of studying earthquakes, they cannot predict exactly when the earthquake will happen. They can just tell you that it may happen, so you better vacate. But they cannot tell you exactly when it is going to happen. That precision is not there. Whereas animals can sense exactly when the earthquake is going to come, and they can, run away from that place. Now, the animals are not educated in our science and technology, but they are able to predict, they're able to sense it. How are they able to sense? By studying the state of their body. Of course, we are completely dependent on Paramatma. Paramatma reveals, right? But it is a science. It's given in the scripture. Human beings can study this science. And as we understand by studying the personality of Yudhishthir Maharaj in all these verses in the past chapters, he's a very advanced person. He's trained in this science. He can understand. So therefore, when he's seeing these symptoms, he's immediately able to understand that some undesirable thing is going to happen. And he can even understand what that undesirable thing is. There cannot be anything else. It cannot be because of any other cause except the disappearance of Krishna. So text 11 is telling us about the symptoms that he is seeing within his body. And text 12 is telling us about the symptoms that he's seeing outside of his body in the nature. So he's seeing the she-jackal is crying, dogs are barking at him fearlessly. And then as we go down the, in future verses, we will see many other symptoms. We will see similar description of, fearful omens in various places in our scriptures, in Srimad Bhagavatam, in Ramayana, always actually. Whenever there is some, Prabhupada also says that when you see such inauspicious omens, it indicates the appearance of some demoniac person or the increase in the population of the demons. Prabhupada even says in the purport that in Kali Yuga, you're seeing these symptoms all the time. That means the population of demons has increased. So we can simply look at the omens, fearful omens that were experienced at the time of the birth of Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. This is a classic example. There's a whole list of omens. So on the birth of the two demons, There were many natural disturbances. Of course, you should also see what is the caliber of these demons. They were like really, powerful demons. So you can see really great, disturbances. So on the birth of these two demons, there were natural disturbances, all very fearful and wonderful. Not just on the earthly planet, in the heavenly planets, on the earthly planets, as well as in between. There were earthquakes along the mountains on the earth, and it appeared that there was fire everywhere. Many inauspicious planets like Saturn appeared, along with comets, meteors, and thunderbolts. There blew winds which were most uninviting to the touch, hissing again and again and uprooting gigantic trees. They had storms for their armies and clouds of dust for their ensigns. So these winds, it's as if there's an army coming. So who's the army? Storms and clouds of dust. We also hear this type of description when Daksha was doing his yagya and Veerabhadra came. There was a dust cloud like that. The luminaries in the heavens were screened by masses of clouds, right? When it is cloudy, it's not sunny. That's also not a very nice, scene. It makes you gloomy, depressed. In the winter season, if you don't see the sun for months and months together, when it is, you don't see the sun, you become very depressed. So the luminaries in the heavens were screened by masses of clouds in which lightning sometimes flashed as though laughing. Darkness reigned everywhere and nothing could be seen. The ocean with its high waves wailed aloud as if stricken with sorrow. And there was a commotion among the creatures inhabiting the ocean. The rivers and lakes were also agitated and lotuses withered. Misty halos appeared around the sun and moon during solar and lunar eclipses again and again. Claps of thunder were heard even without clouds, right? You just hear thunder, but there's no clouds, no rain, just you're hearing thunder. Sounds like those of rattling chariots emerged from the mountain caves. In the interior of the villages, she-jackals yelled portentously, vomiting strong fire from their mouths, and jackals and owls also joined them with their cries. Raising their necks, dogs cried here and there, now in the manner of singing and now of wailing. Same thing which Yudhishthir Maharaj is also seeing, right? Dogs are barking at him fearlessly, and also she-jackals are yelling, vomiting fire. The asses ran hither and thither in herds, striking the earth with their hard hooves and wildly braying. So braying of asses is also not a good sign. And frightened by these braying asses, birds flew, shrieking from their nests. See, the animals are actually sensing the danger. When the birds, when they hear braying of asses, what danger do birds have from asses? It's not like a lion that's coming to kill them and eat them. But just the braying of asses is immediately creating fear in their hearts. They're shrieking from their nests, while cattle in the cowsheds, as well as in the woods, passed dung and urine. Cows, terrified, yielded blood in place of milk. Clouds rained pus. The images of the gods in the temples shed tears. The deities in the temples, they were shedding tears. The trees fell down without a blast of wind. Ominous planets such as Mars and Saturn shone brighter and surpassed the auspicious ones, such as Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. So certain planets are auspicious, certain planets are inauspicious. So the inauspicious planets were surpassing the auspicious ones. Yeah, the planets came in conflict with one another. So When you see these symptoms, what does it tell a learned person? He understands that evil times are here, right? So that's how everyone in the world, even the demigods, right? They didn't know. That means those who didn't know the secrets of these omens, they thought now it's the time for the dissolution of the universe, like that. So there, Srila Prabhupada tells us in the purport that these disturbances, they are actually a sign that some demoniac people have been born, or the demoniac population has increased. And especially in this age of Kali, these disturbances are always visible. What does that mean? It indicates that the demoniac population has certainly increased. So that is the first part, to understand that when you see these omens, there is a problem. Some danger is going to happen. So Srila Prabhupada in the purport is comparing these undesirable things to a forest fire. We do not want, who is asking for undesirable things? Is anyone praying that please send me undesirable things? Except for Queen Kunti, right? Mahabhagavad devotees may ask, but who is asking for undesirable things? We don't want. Still, things we do not want are forced upon us by some superior energy, right? So what do we do when they're forced upon us? From our past experience, now we start making plans, right? Oh, I suffered from poverty in the past, or there was some emergency. Now let me start accumulating, saving up wealth. This is going to save me in my danger, my next situation. Or, I will increase my security. There was a theft or robbery in my house. Now I'll increase the security system. Now I will become safe. So materially, we make so many plans to counteract these unfavorable situations. But what is the scripture telling us? What is the Acharya telling us? That these undesirables are compared to fire in a forest. First of all, no one goes to the forest to set fires. You cannot tell what is the cause for a forest fire. Fires appear, they take place automatically in the forest. That means how much ever preparation you make, how many ever plans you make, still the dangers will come. Unfavorable situations will come, because material existence means full of undesirables. So the best way, you have to prepare for the undesirable, but not in a material way. Material way, you may do some things, but that's not like, you see, I'll tell you one story. I heard this from His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, my Guru Maharaj, that Maharaj once met one sadhu in Braj, and every night he would keep a small stick, like a thin stick, not like a big stick or something, a very small, and he would keep it next to him when he goes to bed. So one night Maharaj asked him, this sadhu, why you keep this stick next to you every night? So he said, this forest, there are tigers in this forest. So for my defense, I'm keeping this stick. This stick is going to save you against the tiger, you think? And what capacity I have to protect myself from the tiger, and what this stick will do? Radharani will save me, but I have to show from my side, right, that I'm making some endeavor. So his confidence is not in his plans. His confidence for his protection is not in his effort. His confidence is in the mercy of Krishna. Nevertheless, I have to make a gesture to show that, I'm also, it's not that this thing is going to save me in any way. So that is a Vaishnava's approach. So yes, even if we, have some health insurance or some bank balance or whatever, a devotee in his heart, he knows these things are not going to save me. When Kala comes in the form of a serpent, who can save me? Another example, Gajendra. Gajendra was having such a wonderful time. He was the king of the elephants. It is said that even the tigers and lions, when Gajendra would walk with his, entourage of other elephants, subjects, wives, children, he's walking in the forest, all the tigers, lions, rhinoceroses, and all the other wild animals, they would flee from that place. And not the wild, not the, fearful animals, but the other like deer and rabbits and birds, they would not come in front of him. Not that they are fearful, but out of respect for Gajendra, they would go elsewhere. They would not come in his way. So that is the position that Gajendra was enjoying. He was the king. And he was having, he was all intoxicated with honey. And then he's there, he goes to this lake and he drinks water. And then he's bathing himself, bathing his family, having a very good time, like a picnic. All of a sudden, this crocodile comes and holds his foot. Danger. Unexpectedly, did he expect that something like this going to happen? And for the next 1,000 years, he was fighting with this crocodile. So you never know when danger will come. It's like a forest fire. What is that forest fire? Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, Adibhautika miseries. Miseries caused by one's body or mind. Miseries caused by other living entities. Maybe other human beings or other animals, insects, right? Serpents. And of course, natural calamities caused by higher authorities. This is samsara. Samsara. Arjuna also says in Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, 30th text, Viparitani. Nimittani cha pashyani viparitani keshava. Viparitani means I don't want. I make plans that, this is how my life is going to be. And, this is my profession and whatever, right? I'm buying a nice house and now we are going to live happily, comfortably. But viparitani, reversals happen. I plan my life in a certain way, something else happens. The opposite happens. Viparitani, reversals are coming. And someone who is materialistic, as Srila Prabhupada says in the purport, we do not see that these undesirables are under the grip of the three modes of material nature. Why these things are coming to me? What is the cause? A materialistic person is not able to see. Either he'll become angry or he'll try to solve them from a material perspective, but he cannot understand what is the problem. Like Arjun was bewildered. Of course, Arjun was bewildered because he was put in that situation by Krishna, but nevertheless, he's playing the role of a bewildered person in this world, person without Krishna consciousness. What is his position when he faces such calamities? He becomes bewildered by the reversals. But the reversals are inevitable. They will come. If they're not coming today, they will come tomorrow. And they will come in every person's life. They will come. So then what is the solution? Solution is also given. Prabhupada is saying, these inconceivable calamities, right? So this forest fire is creating inconceivable calamities for the living entities living in the forest. Such fire cannot be extinguished by any human efforts. Forest fire cannot be extinguished by human efforts. All they can do is tell you to vacate your homes. They won't say, we will put it down for you, you can stay. No. Or try to fight it. They try, but yeah, they cannot extinguish the forest fire. The fire can only be extinguished by the mercy of the Lord, who sends clouds to pour water on the forest. That's the only way. So what do we sing every morning? Samsara dava nalalidha loka tranaya karunya ghana ghanatvam. Samsara means this material existence, where there is reversals. Padam yad vipadam natesham samashita ye pada pallava plavam mahat padam punya yasho murare bhavam budir vatsa padam param padam yad vipadam natesham. Right? So this whole material world is like an ocean of misery. Can anyone swim across the ocean? Any expert swimmer, can he cross the ocean by swimming? This material existence is like an ocean. Our plans are not sufficient to cross this ocean of material existence. Material existence means what? Full of undesirables, full of calamities, forest fire. We cannot cross. But a person who takes shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, to him, this big ocean becomes like a small, like water in the small hoof print of a calf's hoof print. Very easily you can cross over that if you take shelter of the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, this material existence is like an ocean. You cannot cross beyond it. And in this material existence, there is danger at every step. Padam yad vipadam. One danger is over. You cannot think, oh yes, now let me relax. That is over. No. Another one is coming. Prepare for that. How do we prepare for it? Such miseries can be removed only by the mercy of the Lord, who sends his bona fide representatives to enlighten human beings and thus save them from all calamities. So in case of Arjun, Krishna enlightened Arjun. By the mercy of Krishna, Arjun was able to cross over this ocean. But when Krishna was leaving this world, he left behind Srimad Bhagavatam for us. And that Srimad Bhagavatam is being handed down in parampara from one master to the next, from the master to the disciple, then that disciple to his disciple. And Srila Prabhupada has kindly translated it into a language in which we can access it. If Srila Prabhupada had not translated the Srimad Bhagavatam into English, tell me honestly, how many of us would even know anything about Srimad Bhagavatam? I'm from India. I didn't even hear about Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavad Gita, yes, I heard Bhagavad Gita. I saw Bhagavad Gita at home, but I didn't know what was inside. I didn't study. Only when I came in touch with Srila Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, came in touch with the devotees of ISKCON, did I actually begin reading, studying, and understanding Bhagavad Gita. And then about Srimad Bhagavatam, and what to speak of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I didn't know anything about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. How much we are indebted to Srila Prabhupada. That is why every single day we pray, Samsara dava nalalidha loka. This line, what it means is samsara. Samsara means this material existence. Material existence means where there is reversals. There is unfavorable situations at every moment, samsara. And this samsara is compared to davanala. Davanala means forest fire. Samsara dava nala lida. Lida means it is licking up or swallowing. What is it swallowing? Samsara dava nala lida loka. Loka means all these conditioned souls. This samsara, material existence, is swallowing all the conditioned souls. How is it swallowing? In the form of giving these miseries. Adhyatmika, Adidaivika, Adibhautika miseries. We are getting swallowed in this forest fire and we are burning, right? Tapa, we are getting burnt in this. What is the way to escape this, or how to be delivered from this? Tranaya, you have to, with great humility, you have to approach a bona fide spiritual master for protection. And then Karunya, out of his mercy, Pranaya Karunya Ghana Ghanatvam, he will pour the rains from the Ghana, right? Like dense clouds of mercy, they're raining down mercy on these souls that are burning in this forest fire. That's our only hope. Such miseries can be removed only by the mercy of the Lord, who sends his bona fide representatives to enlighten human beings and thus save them from all calamities. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado. Yasya aprasadan nagati kutopi. Somehow or other, if you are able to please the spiritual master, then the Lord is pleased with us. If the Lord is pleased with us, then no problems in life. But if somehow or other we displease the spiritual master, nagati kutopi, we don't have any gati, no destination, no path. We are doomed. So that was today's verse. And we will talk a little bit about Srila Narahari Sarkar Chakravarti. Srila Narahari Sarkar Chakravarti is an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Narahari Sarkar Chakravarti. So there's a description of them in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Narahari Sarkar Chakravarti is the brother of Mukunda Sarkar. Mukunda Sarkar's son is Raghunandan Thakur. So they are all the residents of Sri Khanda. Because of them, Sri Khanda, all the Vasis, the residents of Sri Khanda, they have all become devotees because of these three devotees. So there is some description given in Chaitanya Charitamrita. I'll read a little bit. So once Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, while he was glorifying the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, he turned his attention to these three persons. So this is from Madhya Leela, chapter 15. I'm reading text 112 onwards. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then turned his attention to three persons, Mukunda Das, Raghunandan, and Sri Narahari, inhabitants of the place called Khanda. Khanda means Sri Khanda. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the son of Mother Sachi, asked Mukunda Das. So Mukunda Sarkar, by profession, was a physician. He was a physician. You are the father and your son is Raghunandan. Is that so? Sachi Mata is asking. Or is Sri Raghunandan your father and you are his son? Please let me know the facts so that my doubts will go away. So now Raghunandan was the small 5-year-old boy of Mukunda Sarkar. Mukunda Sarkar is the physician. His brother is Narahari Sarkar. And Mukunda Sarkar's son is Raghunandan Thakur. But Sachi Mata is asking, tell me, is Raghunandan your son or is Raghunandan your father? So Mukunda replied, Raghunandan is my father and I am his son. This is my decision. Why? All of us have attained devotion to Krishna due to Raghunandan. Therefore, in my mind, he is my father. So, in this connection, there is a pastime. So, once, well, I think the whole pastime is given here. Yeah, no pastime. I'll just tell you the pastime. So once this Mukunda Sarkar he was so good in his profession, and also he was actually a very exalted devotee. Of course, in his humility, he's saying that because of Raghunandan, we all got devotion to Krishna. Everyone is great devotee, all three of them. So Mukunda Sarkar was a physician in Nawab Hussain Shah's court. He was so good that he was the personal physician of Nawab Hussain Shah. So once he was summoned by the king because he had some health issues, so he came to see the king. And at that time, one servant brought a peacock fan and started fanning. Mukunda Sarkar was on an elevated platform. As soon as he saw the peacock fan, he immediately remembered Krishna. And he went into ecstasy and he swooned and he fell down from that high platform. He fell down. So immediately the king got worried and everyone else came down and they said, Mukunda, what happened? Are you okay? You know, and then he didn't say that he went into ecstasy. He said, I have some health problem, you know, I have something like an epilepsy. So sometimes I fall down like that. But everyone was aware of the exalted position of Mukunda Sarkar. So the king said, you can go home for today, take rest. Yeah, like that. So this Mukunda Sarkar, this is the exalted bhakti of Mukunda Sarkar. He had a son, a boy, 5-year-old boy, Raghunandan Thakur. So once Mukunda Sarkar was, he had to go out of town on his, you know, for his job. On some business, he had to go out of town. So, no, this is not the same Mukunda. This is different. Yeah, there's Mukunda Datta. That's different. This is Mukunda Sarkar. This is from Sri Khanda. Mukunda Sarkar is from Sri Khanda. So he said, so they have to make an offering every day. Mukunda Sarkar worship the deity and he made offering, bhoga offering to the deity. Today I'm not going to be at home. Raghunandan, you make an offering to Gopinath. So Raghunandan was just a small boy. So he said, I don't know how to make an offering. No, you just go, put the plate in front of Krishna and pray to Krishna, Krishna, please eat this, right? And then the father left. So at noon time, his mother gave him a plate, bhoga plate with all the bhoga and told him, make the offering. So he went on the altar, closed the doors, set it on the table, and then said, Krishna, Gopinath, please eat this offering. And Gopinath ate. But you know how Krishna eats? He eats by glancing. Raghunandan Thakur didn't see Krishna eating like this, like how he would eat. So Raghunandan Thakur was just standing there waiting. And he said, Krishna, eat, eat, Krishna, eat. And then nothing was happening. And the plate was still, prasad was still there on the plate. He started crying. And he said, my father told me to make sure that you eat, but I'm so fallen. I'm making the offering and you're not eating. Please, Krishna, eat, like that. Seeing the simple heart of this boy, the devotion of this boy, Krishna actually told Raghunandan, Raghunandan, I ate prasad already, bhoga already, now you take. So he said, no, but the food is still lying on the plate. So finally, Krishna actually came, the deity, started to eat the food from the plate. And I heard this again from my Guru Maharaj's lecture. So he said that he took a long time eating nicely. And he ate everything on the plate. Raghunandan was very happy. He took the plate and now he's coming off the altar with an empty plate. The mother is waiting outside for prasadam. That's their lunch, right? And she sees empty plate. She said, what happened? And he said, where is prasadam? Gopinath ate it. So now mother is worried. He was on the altar for such a long time and he comes with an empty plate. So you know what she's thinking. So in the evening, when Mukund Sarkar came home, he asked, prasadam, where's prasadam? So she says, no prasadam today. What happened? Raghunandan made an offering and he came back with an empty plate after a long time. Mukunda Sarkar was aware of the exalted position of his son. So he asked Raghunandan, what happened? He said, where is all the prasad? Gopinath ate it. Okay. So he said, offer laddu to Gopinath. Next, another offering. And as usual, Gopinath went on the altar to make the laddu offering. And Mukunda, this time, he was hiding and he was watching to see what's going on. Once again, Gopinath started crying, Krishna, eat, Krishna, eat. I'm sorry, Raghunandan was crying. So the deity picked up the laddu to eat and was eating. And as he ate half of the laddu, Mukund Sarkar was seeing the deity eating. He went into ecstasy, and I don't know if he said something there. He said, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Mukunda Sarkar said, Hari Bol, the deity is eating. Immediately when Gopinath realized that he's being watched by Mukunda Sarkar, he just stopped eating. With the half-eaten laddu in his hand, he became a deity once again. Mukund Sarkar went and bathed his son with tears of ecstasy. How exalted is my son? Krishna personally came to eat. So even to this day, that half-eaten laddu is still there in the hand of that deity in Sri Khanda. So that is why Mukunda Sarkar told Sachimata that Raghunandan is my father, because it is only because of him that we all got bhakti. So now this Mukunda Sarkar's brother is Narahari Sarkar. We don't have a lot of information about Narahari Sarkar, but there is some information. So Narahari Sarkar, at this time only, when Sachimata asked whose father, whose son, at that time Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave an instruction to all three of them. Mahaprabhu told, actually, let me see. Yeah, Mahaprabhu gave instruction. Yeah, Mahaprabhu said that your duty to Mukund Sarkar, Mahaprabhu said, your duty is to earn both material and spiritual wealth, right? You're a grihastha, so you should earn both material and spiritual wealth. That means you should earn a livelihood by honest means, and at the same time practice Krishna consciousness, maintain your family. To Raghunandan, Mahaprabhu said, it is the duty of Raghunandan to always engage in Lord Krishna's service. He has no other intention but the service of Lord Krishna. That means you simply engage in deity worship. And to Narahari Sarkar, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ordered, I wish that you remain here with my devotees. In this way, the three of you should always execute these three duties for the service of the Lord. So he gave these different directions, right? Instructions to these three brothers. So there Srila Prabhupada is telling us that actually these three types of service appear to be separate, but they are not separate. When Krishna or Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in the center, everyone can engage in different activities for the service of the Lord. That is the verdict of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But specifically for these three devotees, Mahaprabhu said, because Narahari Sarkar was a renunciate. So for him, he said preaching. Mukunda Sarkar, you live as a householder, earn and maintain family, and of course also support the temples. And Raghunandan Thakur, you simply engage in deity worship. These were the three instructions given. About Narahari Sarkar, we sing in Gaurarti, Narahari Adi Kori Chamara Dhulaya, right? Narahari Sarkar, that is Narahari Sarkar. What is Narahari Sarkar's service? His, he's waving the chamara to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Narahari Sarkar and Gadadhar Pandit, they were the intimate associates of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Navadvip. Even before Nityananda Prabhu came to Navadvip, Narahari Sarkar and Gadadhar Pandit were very close, intimate associates of Nimai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gaurang Mahaprabhu. And there's another special quality of Narahari Sarkar. Mahaprabhu would never allow anyone to glorify him as the Supreme Lord. If anyone said that you are the Supreme Lord, he would close his ears and he would say, Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. You can never call a living entity the Supreme Lord. He would never accept that. But there was only one person who would always glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sing his glories, and Mahaprabhu would not retaliate. He would just accept it. That was Narahari Sarkar. So he would always sing Gaurarti. You see, they started this Gaurarti after Jagai Madhai were delivered. Then they started performing Gaurarti in Srivasangan to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the evening, every evening. So Narahari Sarkar would always sing and Mahaprabhu would accept it. That was his prerogative. Another incident, Narahari Sarkar in Krishna Leela is a gopi named Madhumati. So she, an intimate associate of Srimati Radharani, and her service is to bring honey, provide honey to Radha Krishna. So once Gaur Nitai told Narahari Sarkar that they wanted honey. So there was a lake in front of Narahari Sarkar's ashram, lake of water. But by the power of his devotion, he turned the entire lake into a lake of honey to serve Gaur Nitai. So to this day, the lake is named, I forget the name, but it is called like the lake of honey. Is there actually honey there? My children are asking. Well, over centuries, so by the devotion of Narahari, that water turned into honey to serve the Lord. But over the centuries, that honey once again turned back into water. The lake is still there, but it is water today. But Narahari Sarkar had turned that lake into honey. So there is a very important philosophical point. In devotional service, when the spiritual master asks us to do something, that disciple or that devotee is actually a good devotee who tries to do more, who's not satisfied simply by doing what is asked of him. He does what is asked of him and he tries to do more, both quantitatively and qualitatively. That is a sign of a progressing devotee. Just like, this example is of 16 rounds, right? You should chant at least 16 rounds. So they will chant their 16 rounds, but also they try to do more than that. Not that with great difficulty, right? I finished my 16 rounds. Now let me put it away. I can do something else. So that's not the sign of a progressive devotee. Progressive devotee will do what is asked, but he's not satisfied with that. He wants to do more, right? You are supposed to cook an offering, Rajbhog offering. You have, like, there has to be 2 types of rice, and there has to be liquid sabji and dry sabji, and dal and puri and pakoda. There's some items that you have to do. And in addition to that, a devotee tries to do all this, and because you want to do, you're not satisfied, right? It's not like I've done. Of course, minimum has to be done. But a devotee will try to do more, even in terms of quality as well as quantity. He will try to do more. And when a devotee has such a desire, because he's not satisfied, he wants to do more and more for the Lord. That is the devotee's love. And when he has such a desire, the Lord actually manifests it. So when Narahari Sarkar actually turned this lake into honey, you can understand what was his desire to serve the Lord. The Lord, when the Lord asked him honey, he could have given him 1 teaspoon of honey. The Lord would have been satisfied with that. But his desire was, if there was, my Guru Maharaj says, if he were in Puri, he would have turned the whole ocean into honey. But because there was just a lake, he turned the lake into honey. So his desire was to serve the Lord to whatever capacity possible, like that. So that we see in Narahari Sarkar's personality. He wants to serve the Lord. And Also, he wrote many songs in glorification of Radha Krishna. Even when he was living in Navadvip. But there is another devotee called Narahari Chakravarti. Narahari Chakravarti has also written many songs. So some devotees, learned devotees, feel that they are mixed up. So you cannot tell exactly which ones are written by Narahari Sarkar, because they could be Narahari Chakravarti also. But nevertheless, he has written many songs. And his disciple is Lochan Das Thakur. If you know, Lochan Das Thakur is the author of Chaitanya Mangal. So Narahari Sarkar's disciple is Lochan Das Thakur. And one important for us contribution of Narahari Sarkar is he's written a book called Bhajanamrita, a small book of Bhajanamrita. This Bhajanamrita consists of rules and regulations to be followed by a disciple whose spiritual master falls down from the spiritual path. So if your spiritual master falls down from the spiritual path, then how should the disciple, what are the rules and regulations to be practiced by the disciple? How should he practice his Krishna consciousness? This is given by Srila Narahari Sarkar in Bhajanamrita, and I believe this book is available in ISKCON. So, and devotees actually use this book when they face such a situation. So those are the glories of Narahari Sarkar, and he disappeared on this day, on Ekadasi day. So we can end here. Thank you all so much for your attention. If there's any discussions, additions, questions, you're welcome.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Not just to you today, but to your assistants also. They kept you on track. Thank you very much for that. If anybody has questions, comments, realizations, please just raise your hand or unmute yourself.
About this, Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Mataji, I want to offer my humble obeisances to
Yeah, but-
Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji.
Jai, please accept mine. That was a wonderful class. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yes, Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. As usual, you give excellent discourses. Too much to take from today's class, but one of a couple of points hit my mind. One of those was we all are in the oceans of misery, and because of our identity weak, we consider ourselves body, and we indulge into the sense gratification, and then we go into the Maya. So but then there was another point made about the progressive devotee. And in that context, I wanted to ask, what are the commonly made mistake when we are not doing progressive devotion? And at the same time, how because I see in the age of Kali, Sankirtan movement looks like a practical approach, which is doable, and it helps many living entity. So how can we do progressive Sankirtan movement? Like, that's the first step, I think, before they enter into the philosophy.
So
Checking our own self in terms of endeavoring. We are progressing, and we are endeavoring more and more, because that feeling of doing more and more is not I mean, it's good for not getting content, but how do we really
yes,
make sure that we are not making mistakes and we are doing absolutely way it is prescribed?
yes, Prabhu. Of course, it is also said that the quality is more important than the quantity. So we shouldn't just be after the quantity. You can increase the quantity without compromising with the quality. Then you can increase that. So if you are able to do whatever is asked of us, the minimum, and you do it with quality, that is very good. That's, that means you are progressive, because when you actually give that quality, the quantity will increase. When the quality of Krishna consciousness is growing, the quantity will also increase gradually. So don't compromise on the quality. So if you're talking specifically about, chanting Hare Krishna, then chant those 16 rounds, improve the quality of chanting and also the quality of devotional services that we do, right? And then when you do that, the quantity will increase, because the nature of Krishna consciousness is it expands. It doesn't stay, it expands. So how to check ourselves, you said, right? That's what I would say. You focus on the quality first. And when we do that, then the quantity will increase. Was that okay?
Yeah, but sometimes they also say like to develop discipline, sometimes you don't have to worry about quality. You just fix quantity, quality will automatically manifest. So there are,
Yeah, levels. There are different levels. Yes,
Yeah.
that's also there. But don't stop there. That's the thing, right? So if you're already doing the quantity, so if you're not even doing the quantity, then yes, try to come to that 16, because that's the what do you say? That's the prescription. So we will try to come to 16, but you should also don't stop. See, the problem is when you become complacent. Yes, I've done my 16. So years and years are passing by and you're not seeing any improvement. You understand? I did my 16, but if you have free time after 16, let me watch some news or let me do something else. That would be a sign of not a progressive devotee. So progressive devotee means you're already, you're entangled in so many things and you're taking time out for Krishna consciousness. You're trying to do your 16 rounds out of that, you see. But as you start doing that, you will also adjust your rest of time to do more Krishna conscious activities. Not that, I'm done with this. Even if I have free time, let me do some material activity. So that's where you can check yourself. After you do your minimum, what are you doing? After you do your minimum, then how are you using your time? From that you can see whether you're progressing or. So if you're seeing that, oh, I finished my minimum, now let me go watch a movie. If I'm thinking like that, I'm not progressing. I'm not progressing, right? On the other hand, you already have so many responsibilities, whatever, because that's my situation right now.
Yes.
And now I'm coming into Krishna consciousness. So I'm cutting down on my material activity to fit in Krishna consciousness. Then you're progressing. But the next stage would be, now after doing the minimum, you will cut down on other material activities so that you can expand your spiritual activity. Then it would be progressive. But if you're not doing that and you're satisfied with that minimum, and when you even have some free time, you'd rather do some material activity, maybe make more money or go for a movie or a picnic or something, instead of using that time for doing something spiritual, that means you're kind of staying in that, complacent mode. You're not actually progressing forward.
Yeah, very good answer. Thank you very much. And how can we improve our Sankirtan movement? That was also, and what are the weaknesses we are experiencing here? In generally speaking, in the bigger body.
How to improve the Sankirtan? This would have been a very good question for Kalakanta Prabhu. Prabhuji is not here. I actually wanted to turn over the question to Prabhuji. You could have from him, but Prabhuji is going to be here, so I think we can.
Yes, he will be giving the morning class on Monday. Since you brought it up, I figured I might as well make that announcement. On Monday, we will make arrangements for him to give class, and I'm sure he will be here over the weekend. I am not sure about that, but Drona Prabhu can.
He is staying at the temple. So if you want to stop by the temple, he'll also be giving the Sunday feast lecture as well. So please come and see him. whether it's today or tomorrow. You get his association.
Mhm.
Yeah, so on a bigger scale, Sankirtan movement, I think that would be a good question for Prabhuji. I mean, it's, yeah, I don't have that much, you know.
Because I see yesterday we did Sankirtan at our home, Ramcharan Prabhuji. And, so we invited few of them, and it seems like it is working for many of them in this age.
Yes.
And I feel like, okay, how can we like I want to do more
So
and
you're
more
asking
like this.
individually how you can contribute to the Sankirtan movement?
Yeah, in my own capacity, like yes, but I find challenges also because it was yesterday Friday evening, and being like we are tired of our work. Oh, who will come to Kirtan? Those kind of thing. Because when we try to call and then we have to convince them, please come, have
Yeah,
some
yeah.
Krishna prasadam and kind of do Kirtan, but.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, is the weakness is within me or like
No.
weakness? How can we like make sure like at least they participate, and then how from that
Correct.
participation, because to get that participation, is it something I am doing not properly to just convey it correctly, or so sometimes we feel that our own
Mataji, we
mistakes.
used to have, Hare Krishna, we used to have in Denver once a month, this program, home programs. Call how many, whatever capacity in your house, how many people can come and do. But if you call some Krishna devotees and then your neighbors or somebody,
Yeah.
and have that Sankirtan once a month is okay. And that anybody can do, and then adding to the weekend like that. So nobody will say no to that.
Yeah.
And then prasadam, whatever it is, we all used to pitch in and then take the prasadam, some makes without offering to the house. And that way housewife is not that burden for her.
Yeah.
So that's how we used to do in Denver.
Yeah.
Once a month home program.
Once a month.
So you call Prabhuji.
You call somebody in from Krishna temple and they will come happily, they will do. And
Like
they
you-
will start the Kirtan and then they will say a little bit about Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita. And so that, unknowing people surrounded your house, so people, those are apartments or something. It's an encouragement for everybody.
Yeah. And I felt so good vibration.
Yeah, good vibration in your house.
Yeah.
That's
So I was not actually, my sleep quota got reduced by having this association. I was doing even after the people left, it was still 2 a.m. I was able to do Kirtan myself.
See, that is the thing. No,
So I mean, I don't know how this energy is kind of generated, but yeah, it works. Definitely it works.
Works very
No
good.
doubt.
just call Prabhuji, as you said, and also Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati said, people, when they are proud, if you go there saying that, you need this, you have to come, they won't listen. So you have to be humble, right? He says, take a blade of grass between your teeth,
That's
down on their feet, right? Like that. I mean, so just to tell you the mood, in great humility. So especially initially to call them, you said if they're not coming,
Yeah.
so you call
Don't
them
feel
and in very, in a humble mood, you
humble mood.
reminding
Humble
them,
mood.
calling them. And
Yeah.
then once they come, once they get into it, then
They will go.
Harinam, the Sankirtan,
Yeah,
will
yeah,
do the magic. We don't
Yeah.
have to do anything.
Actually, I'm getting text messages this morning. People are having really great experience and they're blessing me. But I told it's not me. It is the association which is doing this. And Krishna Mercy and the great devotee like Ramcharan, who came and
That's
performed.
how it should start.
So-
We start with a little amount of people, because I don't know whether we can handle it or not. All those things, prasadam, I had to cook this, and concentration on cooking.
No,
Not-
actually, that somehow the energy is there, but we didn't feel I didn't feel laziness or tiredness doing these things. And even Sonia Mataji, who also prepared, we were around 20 people plus.
Very nice.
That's
Yeah, it
good.
was okay. It was okay in that way.
It's very pleasing to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It's very pleasing to Srila Prabhupada. So you're doing the right thing. Just keep on.
Yeah, I want to do more like this and probably make my home as a temple. I just wanted to make that. That is my like long-term thing. Okay.
If you have the wish, Krishna will help you.
Yeah, I wanted to do that, but I don't know.
Mataji, Prabhu has class now, I think. Is that right?
Okay, okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यः एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mother Archana Bhakti.
Thank
I
you.
just wanted to share that we do have a Maha cleanup. It's Save a Day at the temple. So any devotees that would like to come and connect closer with Shri Radheshwar Bihari and clean the temple today from 10 o'clock to 12 o'clock.
Yes.
Please stop by. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Mataji. Thank you.